Hello, caviar connoisseurs, and welcome to this special Super Bowl preview edition of Sports Caviar. Hope you guys had a good week last week. There really wasn't any football unless you enjoy the NFL Pro Bowl games. But we are going to be previewing the Super Bowl. We're going to tell you who we think is going to win the MVP, what the total number to be looking for in the game is going to be, and who's going to win, most importantly. If you guys didn't notice, Bajan was gone last week. He was
I
replaced
missed
by
you.
Yeah, Elliot
That was
Davenport.
the best
Welcome
show of
back,
the year.
bro.
Probably the best show of our run with
It
Elliot.
was it was the highest viewership for sure.
That's no doubt.
Welcome back. So we got a huge game here on the docket, guys. It's the last football game of the season. I do like that they put this week in between it's almost like it's twofold, right? It gives the teams to hit the reset button, get a little healthier before the big game. But at the same time, for the viewers, it puts into perspective, wow, this is what it's gonna feel like after next week when
Mm.
the Super Bowl is done. So it makes us crave the Super Bowl a little bit more, right?
Yeah, then you had Pebble Beach got canceled on Sunday with the
Yeah,
rainouts. There was no golf on Sunday. They call it after 3 rounds. Sunday was just sad.
life after
Yeah.
football.
Luckily, we're basketball fans and baseball is right around the corner, folks.
That's right.
We
Yeah, we
still
got the
have
Masters
one.
coming up too. We're good.
Oh, no, we got plenty of things to keep us occupied here until the fall. But there is a massive the big one here, and the good thing about it is, I know that for Detroit fans, this is a really sore subject, but the good thing about this matchup is it's pegged to be a very close game. As it stands right now on this recording, Kansas City's +2, so that's as almost as close as you're gonna get in a Super Bowl matchup here. Let's play riddle me this, if Detroit would have made it, what do you think the line would have been, Burn?
I would say KC by 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I
You
like
agree,
KC.
Bajan?
I think it's close. Yeah, 3.5. I think they put the hook there. I don't think they let it get to 4 because I think the Sharps would have jumped on that. I like 3.5,
That
but
is
Vern and
true.
I are close. We're close.
Yeah, yeah. Bajan, you missed the show last week. We didn't get to hear your thoughts. Do you blame that loss on your coaching or what game plan in the second half? What do you think needed to happen there?
I'm just starting to heal. I've removed the sackcloth and ashes. I'm almost through the mourning phase. You got to dance with the one who brung you. Dance with the one who got you there. Dan Campbell is who Dan Campbell is. Are we always going to agree? No. But there's sins of passion. He wanted to go for the cutthroat. I don't mind the first fourth down call. Going for it there, I thought that was the right call. The subsequent call, when you could have tied it with a field goal, I probably would have kicked it there. But Dan Campbell is who Dan Campbell is. That team rallied around him. Inexplicable plays. I still don't know how Ayuk caught that ball off of the face mask, off of a tip. Once I saw that, I started to worry if you're a Lions fan. And I'm a positive guy, but you started to think. Then you fumble, Gibbs fumble.
Wasn't
So there's
wasn't
a lot
that
that
pass
Dan Campbell
interference
didn't
anyway?
do. No, they
Isn't
picked up
that
the
PI?
flag. They picked up the
Yeah,
flag.
they
You
picked up
can't
the
PI
flag.
when it hits you in the helmet and you're about to
Yeah.
catch it, but that's why you're a DB. Can't fumble on the next possession. Dan Campbell had nothing to do with that, and it certainly wasn't play calling. It's a basic run up the middle. I don't want to get into it. San
Yeah.
Francisco, great rally. I'm heartbroken. Now we have this to look forward to.
Yeah. San Francisco did have a really good season. The total's 47.5. I'm gonna give you guys the floor, but I want you to pick, is the total gonna go over that or under that? Who is gonna be the Super Bowl MVP? And who is going to be the Super Bowl champion? Okay, since Byrne rolled his eyes, he's going to start. What do you got there, big dog?
No, I'm still now just you just rehashed the Lions loss.
Ugh.
I'm still cycling through that because this should be a conversation about how do the Lions control Patrick Mahomes and how do we pull this victory out. I think there's a narrative out there with NFL wants the Swifties to pull this out. And I don't like this, how this is playing out at all. Patrick Mahomes, four Super Bowl appearances in 5 years. It's very Tom Brady-esque, right? All that being said, I think Kansas City has the best quarterback. I think they have, I think the defenses will pretty much line up neck and neck. But I think that there are some differences, some very big differences between the two teams. And I think receivers and I think running back. So for me, I do feel like 47.5 is tough. But I think I'm going to go over, thinking like a 31-27. I think it's going to get up there. But man, there's some Super Bowl trends on uniform colors. And that does lean towards the 49ers pulling this out. And so I'm going to go with the 49ers winning this because that means that the Lions have lost to a Super Bowl champion, which makes me feel a little better. And I'm going to go with the best player on that field as the MVP. I think he's going to be the difference maker, both in the receiving game as well as the rushing attack. And I think that Christian McCaffrey is going to have 150 yards total, all-purpose yards, and he's going to have 2 tutties, and he will receive that MVP, and he will be well deserving, and and to see Brock Purdy do what he did against Detroit in that second half, I think that can be replicated, and I think that they will do just enough, and their defense is good enough to shut down the receiving game and make that a one-dimensional offense with Kansas City. And look, we saw what Detroit did against San Fran's rushing attack, right? We got some yards. They made some adjustments, but I think the fact that San Fran can really keep the receiving core in check against Kansas City is going to help. And then that way they can really stack that line and shut down Pacheco and in the Rashid Rice's reverses, those type of things. I think they hold them. But yeah, give me San Fran as Super Bowl champion, C Mac as the MVP, and put your money on the over.
Alrighty.
That's what I got.
Exciting
I
analysis
know.
there.
Great in depth. Our ever
This one,
fashionable burn. Ever fashionable burn has
are
gone with
you
the uniform
aligned?
colors. Our silver fox has gone with uniform colors. We are partially aligned. I love the over 47.5. I had this at either 27-21 or 27-24. Either way it goes over. They're not going to misalign. It's so tight. So I like this in the high 40s just enough or the very low 50s. But Bern and I are aligned on the over. You saw the ability to score in that San Francisco Lions game. For me, the difference is the Kansas City defense. This is a defense that is second in sacks. They are fourth in passing yards. They are fifth in yards per play. They do not give up the big plays. Yes, they struggle or have struggled for the season against the rush. In fact, they're 18th against it. San Francisco is third offensively. That appears to be a mismatch. But what I will tell you is that in the last 5 to 6 weeks, that number has moved from 31st in the league against the rush to 18th. It is a vastly improved and focused. You saw what they did against Baltimore, able to shut down the run and make that team one-dimensional. San Francisco, they don't have Lamar Jackson, but they're built very similarly as an offense. They want to run the ball and use their weapons off of play action. Kansas City has the better kicker. Kansas City has the better quarterback. Kansas City has star power inside, on and off the field in the press box, which I'm with Byrne, not crazy about, but it's a factor. Mahomes is in the stratosphere of the great TB12. It's so hard to be excited about this game. It's going to be Mahomes. It's going to be 27-24 or 27-21. Sleeper pick for MVP. Great value on your money. Get 14-1 right now. Who's involved in all this celebrity picks? What position does San Francisco struggle mightily against? Specifically, he's not an Iowa tight end, but any tight end. It's the tight end. It's the man of the moment. Travis Kelce, sleeper pick for your MVP 14-1. Sprinkle it on there. Sprinkle it. You'll enjoy it. Could have 2 TDs. They could be short TDs, but I could see him going 8 for 86 and 2 TDs. Somewhere in that line, which might be good enough for your MVP. Give me the Chiefs. Give me the over. Give me Kelce and his woman for the victory. And I'll try to get up for this game. I'm excited about the food and the hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah, Travis Swift. I would say, okay, this is a really interesting. I think this is gonna be a really good matchup to watch. I don't agree with you guys on the over under, so I'll start there. But both teams in general average slightly above what the over under's at. So you would just naturally say, oh, it's going to go over, right? But I think this is going to be more of a utilization of a rushing attack on both sides of the ball. That's going to cause the clock to bleed a little bit more than normal. Turnovers are going to be so crucial in this matchup because it's
Mm.
going to be so evenly matched. In the first half specifically, you're going to see a little bit more of a conservative game plan. So that being said, I would go under because the margin is very close here on that 47.5. I think that it's going to be really close. Let's talk about players here. Okay. So obviously, Kansas City, they have the Patty Melt, they have Travis Swift, they have Rice and Pacheco. Okay. Those are going to be the weapons we're going to be looking at. On the San Francisco side, there's Purdy, Kittle, McCaffrey, Ayuk, and Debo.
You
Obviously,
can.
San Francisco they have better weapons. That's not even to be disputed here. Patty Moat is obviously the better quarterback, so that you get a little bit more weight for that. But overall, is Kittle really that much of a difference than Kelsey? I think Kittle might actually be one of the sleepers for the MVP, by the way, because he might
Oh.
be coming to this game saying everybody's talking about Travis Kelsey. You're forgetting
Oh.
about the Kittle man. So, I don't know what the odds are on Kittle, but, that might be one that we might wanna sprinkle some blue cheese crumbles there.
Delicious.
Mm.
Okay, so here we go. Casey's really good against the pass. Purdy's projected to throw 32 times, but they rarely force turnovers, so that's one thing to watch out for. They do shut down the pass, but they don't actually force turnovers, whereas San Francisco, they're a little bit more aggressive out on the edges, and they try to force turnovers. Is the patty melt gonna try to get a little too aggressive and fancy with his footwork and just throw one up there? San Francisco is gonna intercept it if he does so. That's another thing to look out for. Let's see here. San Francisco was number 3 in the regular season against the rush, so that's gonna be a matchup against Pacheco. But the thing is that in the last 2 games, San Francisco has been very much exposed in
Headed to the other way. Two defenses
yeah.
headed in the other direction from a rush perspective.
Yes, but KC in general is susceptible to the rush, which obviously that is not a good facet that you want to have on your team going up against Christian McCaffrey. So there's that. Now, San Francisco is number 1 in the red zone, all right? Kansas City's number 19 when we're talking about scoring touchdowns in the red zone. You can't get any better than number 1. So I think that's going to be a big edge for San Francisco right there. Now, Kansas City now, if we're talking about a close game, this is where I started to go back and forth a little bit. I like to analyze the kicking game, okay?
Yeah.
So, Kansas City, they have a young and spry 28-year-old Harrison Butker. Guy's lights
Money.
out.
Money.
He's lights out. From especially from the distances of 40 to 60 yards, he has a career of 62. The guy's got a leg. If it comes down to if it's a close game in the fourth quarter, it's going to come down to field goals, man.
Give me
So
Bucker.
that kinda made me waffle a little bit. San Francisco's trotting out I think Kansas City has an edge. Whether or not it comes down to field goals, that's gonna be a big question, right? San Francisco trots out the young and spry Moody from University of Michigan,
Michigan.
Natties. Natties.
who's pretty good. The only thing with him is that his percentage was, like, a little bit lower, so he was, like, 86% roughly, and Butker was 94.
Yes,
Um,
and misses under pressure as well. Missed one in the NFC Championship game, missed one to beat the Browns back when we were in the pirate ship. I think that's week 8 or week 7.
yeah.
So give me Butker all day.
Yeah, they have an edge there, but I think that the fact that San Francisco has so many more weapons and Debo is having this extra week off here to rest up and heal up, he's going to be ready to rock and roll. He only has to let it on the line for one last game, so we're probably going to see a lot of Debo actually.
One of the other bets I love is Debo anytime touchdown. You can get almost 2 times your money. That's plus 180. Debo anytime TD is a great wager. Please play responsibly.
I agree with you on that. I don't it's probably minus money for McCaffrey anytime touchdown, right?
Yeah, or even, yeah, probably minus 120 or minus 140, something like that. What are you gonna do?
McCaffrey's gonna see the end zone. That is a guarantee. You might as well put $10,000 that he's gonna, score a touchdown.
Let's do it. Let's grow
Feeling good
sports
about that.
caviar. Take the money out of the marketing fund. Sports caviar wager.
So, I'm going San Francisco to win. I think that I agree with Byrne that it's gonna be McCaffrey that gets the MVP. I am also going to put a little bit on Debo, though, and I'm gonna put some on Kittle because I have to go heavy with San Francisco if that's who I think is gonna win the game. Obviously, they're gonna be putting up some scores. I think I'm looking to see Kittle and Debo have big games. We'll see if that comes to fruition, and then I'm taking the under on the total. There you have it. We are not aligned as a Sports Caviar crew here on the winner. Bajan is going with the fandom of the Taylor Swift.
I'm not happy about it.
You seem
I'm not happy about any of this. None of this am I
Uh,
happy about.
I do wanna point out that in our pick'ems from last week, we started out with basketball season here. Burn was 0 and 3, and Elliot, me, and Bajan were all 2 and 1s. I would suggest that you guys stay tuned in for for our basketball picks as well. You can tune out for when Burn picks if you don't wanna lose any money.
now. So let's remember how I was at the beginning of the season for football, and I had a rough start. I'm not gonna lie, and I admit that. Yeah, I made some risky bets, but I turned myself around, and I think I dominated the rest of the season. I think I went 1 week, I went 7-0. So boys and girls out there are just beautiful listeners. Stick with me, hang in there. You will come out on the winning side. But that
Results speak for themselves. One more wager to consider. I know that I lauded and applauded the Kansas City rush defense, but here's a fun wager. Christian McCaffrey, first rush over 3.5 yards. Take the over here.
Okay.
Scripted plays, they're going to throw out their best 12 or 15 plays, going to run behind their best linemen. I would expect the first player to actually be a pass or a screen pass. Shanahan, very creative, and then they're going to hit him with a 5 or 6 yard run. Some stats behind that 60% of his runs are over 3.5 yards. And he actually averages more like 5 yards in that first 15 plays. So a lot to like there if you look at the whole season. So take the over 3.5 on CMC's first rush, yardage wise, but look for Kansas City to win the long game of that. Lose the battle.
That the prop bets are always fun. There's always like 1,000 bets you can do for the Super Bowl, so it'll be interesting to see what it on Super Bowl Sunday. Somebody's gonna have to take my phone away from me. I'm gonna be like, get this thing away from me
Yes. Yeah.
because
I'm a sponsor. Please play responsibly.
so there was a huge trade in the MLB as far as I'm concerned because it made me really pissed off as a Yankee fan. Okay, so why in the world can the Orioles pull off a trade like this when the Yankees need pitching? Corbin Burns goes to the O's. He goes for their 6th and 7th prospects. Joey Ortiz, he hit 321 in AAA. Supposed to be a premium defender, 25 years old. And then DL Hall, big lefty pitcher. He's the 93rd prospect out of the top 100 in total. He's a former first round pick. His ERA is 3.26. But John, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on this trade for the Orioles perspective and then also Milwaukee?
The Orioles' perspective, they get rewarded for investing wisely. They have a ton of assets going into this trade. Clearly, the top prospect organization, the top farm club organization in all of baseball. And they use some of those pieces to go out and get a stud. Corbin Burns shines specifically in even numbered years. He's had some injuries in 19, injuries in 21, and injuries in 23. However, this is 2024. And when he's been healthy, he can rack up the strikeouts. This is a man that holds the major league record. He once started the season striking out 40 straight batters without walking anyone. At one point, his K to B baseball or base on balls average was a ratio was 40-0. You can't even calculate that. That's impressive. He adds to an already impressive rotation of Dean Kramer, Grayson Rodriguez, and Bradish. Great move from the Orioles' perspective to really load up in the AL East as much as it pains you have. For the on the surface, you think, why? Burns only has 1 year. This is last year of his contract, so this could be a rental. What the Brewers do get is they add to their burgeoning farm club. They get a pair of 25-year-olds. Both of them can rent a car. Good for them. And they get what could be a Willie Adams version with a better bat. The future shortstop for them, and Joey Ortiz, great fielder, fantastic glove, got a great hit tool as far as the average concerns. Not a lot of pop, but really can get on base. I like this long term for them. DL Hall, strong performance in his short sample size last year. I think he was 3-0 in the majors. So I think for the Brewers, they weren't going to re-sign Burns. For them long term, it's a good deal. Maybe a B minus, C plus. We'll see. It could move into a B plus and better if these prospects pay out. But for the Orioles, loading up for the run and using their assets to build to that already strong rotation, this is an A minus, B plus for the O's.
Burn, are you upset that Burns didn't go to the Tigers in this deal?
Yeah. Anybody that shares a name like that, you wish that they would end up on a club you root for.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Detroit's at a different stage right now. We're still in the early stages of a rebuilding and reloading. So we'll get there. But yeah, Bajan hit on all the good points there. Baltimore, they used what they've created and built down there in their number one farm system. And they got a front of the line starter to go with their guys. Brash was phenomenal last year. So they've now got from 1 to 5, they've got some depth, and they have guys that are going to go 6+ innings. So I actually think it's a win. Just like Bajan said, I think Milwaukee, yeah, they weren't going to re-sign Burns. That was never in the cards. So to be able to get two potential studs for a 1 year rental potentially, they had to do it. And you don't want to lose them for nothing. So I think they took a pretty smart gamble, to be honest. Yeah, I feel good
Yeah.
about it. I think Baltimore reloaded, and I mean, I think they've got the offense pretty set. So to shore up the rotation and push for that AL East so that the Yankees don't. Yeah, I feel pretty damn good about it. I'd like to
Yeah.
trade for both sides. So yeah, I would lean towards Baltimore just because they got the best player and the more proven player.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's an A minus for the Orioles and probably a B minus for the Brewers.
It's a tough decision to make at this particular moment because it really depends if Burns ends up signing with the Orioles long term. So if they have to give up these prospects and they pan out and Burns ends up taking a walk after the first year, it's not worth it unless you win the World Series.
Exactly.
These rentals, they definitely come with risk. They must really like DL Hall. Ortiz. They must really like these prospects, or they must think that they wouldn't have been able to get. Here's my thing: is that the timing of it was a little weird because unless they know something about Burns and he's, like, actually secretly injured or something, and they know that now's the time to trade him, because you always get more in at the trade deadline in July. Like, imagine Corbin Burns being on the trade block for all these teams that are, like, 1 pitcher away to make a World
Yeah.
Series run.
That's true. If Burns is healthy, I think you hit on the nail on the head. He's 29. He maybe has 2, 3 solid years, but an even year has been healthy, which lines up from this year, but he's missed a lot of time recently. He throws
Yeah.
really hard, throws a lot of pitches. I could see that trade deadline, but I think this is the time to get what you want. I'll say with this trade, Milwaukee is the only team now with 6 prospects in the top 100. So they just took over the
Mm.
top spot. When you look at overall depth, it's probably still the Orioles, but Milwaukee's in the top 3 now because of this trade when you look at the outlook for the future.
Yeah, it's another, thing that I like. The Orlando Magic is a totally different sport, but they need to look at this what the Orioles are doing here. They have a
Yeah.
glutton of young guys, and they go out and get a wily vet, right? That's what needs to happen,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about the NBA in a little bit, but I'm
Oh,
just saying, I'm happy that for if you're a Baltimore fan, you're probably happy that they are actually starting to spend some of these prospects. There's that you can't just have all these prospects and do nothing with them. In the NBA world, there was a little bit of a big injury, I guess, if you're a Sixers fan. So Joel Embiid has a displaced flap of the meniscus. He's either going to be out 4 to 6 weeks for a minor oil change, or he might need a full service job where he might be out for the rest of the season, 4 to 6 months maybe. He did have the procedure. They're estimating 4 to 6 weeks right now, but they have to reevaluate him. Burn, do are you concerned about this?
Oh yeah. When your best player has an injury that's we're just cleaning up, but we're gonna have to reevaluate. That could be a nagging injury down the road, and he's MVP caliber, right? He was on pace to probably win the MVP if the voters were voting today. Yeah, I think it's a big deal. Do I think the Sixers can overcome that? And as long as he's back in the next 4 to 6 weeks, they'll be just fine. And really, it's are they going to make the playoffs? Yeah, and most likely
Yeah.
would with or without him currently. So it's still a big deal though, because if that thing if it nags and it causes some concerns down the road, that could be the end of the Sixers in the playoffs for sure. But if he comes back healthy and we're good to go, the Sixers are right back there at the top of the East, competing against the Celtics and Embiid's right there. I don't know. I guess 4 weeks out, maybe you lose your MVP potential, but that guy puts up MVP stats.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I still think it's a big deal because that's your best player. That's who they rally around. That's who they build their offense around. So it's a big deal. But obviously pulling for the guy to come back healthy in the next 4 to 6 weeks and be back to his old self. But big deal if he's not. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, Bajan, I'll tailor the question a little differently for you, okay? So, he's had a meniscus tear in his right knee before 2021, and then he had season-ending surgery on his left meniscus in 2017. So he's had issues with his knees, right? He's not getting any younger. The trade deadline is a week away. If you're Philly, are you looking to make a trade to make sure that you can make a playoff run, or are you just saying it's Embiid or bust?
I think you like the roster that you have. I think it's impossible to fill Embiid's role. We talked about it 2 weeks ago. It hurts the game. I love watching Embiid. It's just too bad. Knees are tough. He's a large human, and he moves along around a lot very well. It's a lot of pressure on those joints. I don't know. I'm very close to the ground, and I'm not athletic at all. So I wouldn't know how that is, but I feel for the guy, and I hate to see this. So I think if I'm a Philly, I'm sticking with what I have. I don't know what you go out and get. Maybe a big man, but no one's going to be able to do what Embiid does. He stretches the floor. He's an adept passer. Him and Jokic are the two best players that's not close in the league. It's 1A, 1B for me. You can get a piece to plug in there. I don't know how much, if it's cheap, but you have to look at the right price. You don't want to overreact and get someone that doesn't fit in your system. They are struggling, though. I believe they are 4-11 without him. Tyrese Maxey takes on a big workload. He is very talented. I think he had over 50 the other night against the Jazz in a big win. But this is a tough one for Philly. They go from favorites to maybe they're in the second round of the playoffs. I don't have them going past that without a beat.
Yeah, no, not even close, man. I think this could be very detrimental for Philly fans. Obviously, I don't know if they are bigger Eagles fans or Sixers fans, but they had that heartbreaking loss against the Bucks in the NFL, and then
Fire the
now Embiid
pennants.
might be, Philly's going down. There's rumors that Belichick actually turned down the Atlanta job, by the way, so just keep that in mind here. So, Belichick, he's 71 years old, Vrabel's 48. All the head coach vacancies have been filled in the NFL. What does this mean for each coach is my question here. So, I'll start with you, Bern.
Uh, Vrabel's going to get another opportunity. I think he's got the experience, what he's done, what he did with Tennessee. I think that it bodes well for him. He'll definitely get another opportunity next coaching carousel. Belichick, it's tough, man. 71 years old, and if he seems to be one of those guys right now that it's his way or the highway. Like he wants a ton of control. He wants to do it his way, and I just don't know if that's gonna work. And I don't know if there's gonna be a team that's willing to give him that kind of full control at his age. And so I don't know if Belichick coaches again in the NFL.
Ooh,
That's my gut feeling. I think he might just ride into the sunset and be good to go. Obviously not this year. So 72, 73 next year. I, I just don't see it. I just don't see a team willing to, unless it's the Cowboys. That'd be the one team that I could see Jerry Jones being like, all right, let's get the old guys together and see what we can do. But I, Vrabel, not a concern. I think we're fine. I think he gets another opportunity down the road. I think Belichick I think he rides off to the sunset with his 7 Super Bowls and calls it a day.
Yeah, Ben, we are aligned. I agree. Great coach, probably the greatest coach. But to your point, I love what you said there. The GM and the front office and analytics are more and more involved. You look at the last couple of drafts for Belichick, which he was heavily involved. Not great. That New England roster is struggling right now. And a lot of that is draft picks that Belichick had direct impact on. So I agree with you there. GMs and front office data analytics are more involved than ever. But let's applaud the NFL. 3 out of the 8 hires, we talk about doing the right thing and hiring the right talent. 3 out of the 8 hires are minorities. Would we like to see that at 4 or 5? Yes. But I feel like when you look at Raheem Morris, you look at Antonio Pierce, you look at Gerard Mayo, those are the right guys for those organizations. There was very little interviews with them. They knew the guy they wanted. So good for them for proving themselves. And you look at the guys who were hired, they look like good fits for the teams. I think Vrabel, I agree, will have another opportunity. Take a year off with your family or get in a booth somewhere. NFL Network will take you. They take anybody. And love to see you on a pregame show. So I think next round, Vrabel gets in. Belichick, just enjoy it. Be the GOAT. Join the other GOAT. Coach him in flag football. To find something to do with Tom Brady. Carry his golf bag. I don't know. Have some fun. Enjoy it. Hang out with Robert. Hang out with Nick Saban. Nick Saban's got plenty of time. Go play golf. Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Is it?
Uh,
Well, is it 4 then? It's 4? 'Cause, would Dave Canales count too then?
That's right. You're right. You are right. That's 4 out of 8. So great
yeah,
point,
he's
Bart.
just
Yep.
not black. But yeah.
Minority is minority.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what ethnicity he is, though, is the only thing. So,
Spanish, but I don't know.
you wanna look it up?
I don't know why. Yeah. If only we had the ability to look up things like that.
I didn't really because I know he doesn't really speak with an accent or anything, so I don't know what exactly he is,
It
but
was that's a crazy story, by the way. You guys see that his wife made him write a book?
Yeah.
I know that he had an
A lot of
addiction, like
changes.
a bad
Good
Well,
addiction.
life
yeah,
changes.
he had a lot of addictions.
Yeah.
And his wife made him write a book about it. I'm like, whew. And that would have never came up until he became a head coach.
Good for him for working through that. And that's a
Yeah.
tough situation to be in.
Yeah.
We're all on a journey.
Although I don't really know if he's gonna last over there, but that's a whole 'nother story.
And he gave Baker a
The
career year.
Yeah, there's rumors that Baker's gonna be getting paid pretty hefty here too, by the way. I
Mexican
think that
American.
Belichick is what is he?
Mexican American.
So he's half Mexican.
Yeah.
Okay. Does that count?
Counts. It counts.
When you look at
Yeah.
diversity at the head coach position, I would say that would qualify.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're right. He's
Yeah.
not full white, so it counts. But I guess he is.
Yeah. You have to, yeah. As long as there's something in
Like,
there, it works. It counts.
yeah, so,
Diversity comes in
um,
all lenses. We welcome it.
yeah, it's true. That's what America is, supposed to be. But I don't think that if the here's the thing, if the rumors are true that he turned down the Atlanta job, I think that changes the dynamic here of what's happening here with Belichick because from the outside looking in, it looks like he didn't get the job, but we don't actually know. They might have offered him the job and he turned it down. It's just they couldn't come to terms. So I think that Belichick has such a rich history as such a fantastic coach. There's definitely going to be an organization that takes a chance on him, quote unquote. Let's say, for example, if the Bucks had a terrible season and Bowles got fired, I would actually be happy getting Belichick in to replace Bowles. I think that he's been there, he's done that. He definitely knows how to win Super Bowls. We know it. I think
With
that
Tom Brady. So does
that's fine. That's fine
Yeah.
though, right? As long as you give him the tools, he can make the horse go, right? So I think you could almost say that for any coach. Look at Greg Popovich. What has he done ever since Tim Duncan retired? He's done right, but
Yeah, I just
that's
think that
because he's had nothing.
yeah, but I just feel like Belichick, you're saying give him the horses. Like Belichick
Yeah,
wants to pick his own horses. And I think
He's not good at the track anymore. He's
I
not
mean,
the
yeah.
guy you want to tail at the track.
I
you
mean,
guys are
since
being
losing
aged.
no, I'm just saying that since losing Tom Brady,
I'm
his
old.
track record of his last few years of free agents draft have completely backfired. And who he
Like
putting at coaching staff. Think
what's
about
the
Mac
boy from
Jones.
Alabama?
Dude,
Yeah, Mac Jones.
yeah, Yeah, first year did great. We're all up. We're like, oh my gosh, he's gonna follow in Tom Brady's footsteps.
Neil Harry?
Then
Oh my.
they're coaching.
Oh,
Then they put Matt Patricia as an OC. I don't know. I don't see it, man. I don't see it.
Yeah, he's gonna get another chance. And the question is also, would he actually do the Herm Edwards move where he goes and takes a big program in college?
hmm.
Do you think he
I'd be
can
curious.
handle? Yeah, it'd be a hell of a story. I don't know if he could. I don't think he's a recruiter.
I mean, you walk in there with how many Super Bowls does he have? 5?
Get the
7
hood cut off hoodie and those
and
rings
I
on.
put him with those rings.
Yeah,
We're like,
just walk in there with the rings, and then
what
there's
do you
your
guys want to
recruiting
do?
store. Yeah. And by the way,
And a
anyway, in college, it's nothing about recruiting anymore. It's just, okay,
It's
so how
just
much are you
how
gonna
much
pay
money
me?
do you
So
have?
I think if he went to a school that was rich and he didn't actually really have to recruit and you just say, okay, just pay that. I have to manage a budget more or so is like what they're doing now. I don't know if you heard the rumors.
sure.
Ohio State was supposedly their budget for NIL was 13 million.
Yeah, between that Julian Sane and Caleb Downs, ooh,
Yeah.
sickening.
They
I
are
don't like it.
reloading over there, man.
Yeah,
Still
it's
gotta get
very.
it done when it counts. Gotta win the big games.
They didn't like losing to Michigan 3 straight years.
I don't know, man. I think that college has changed so much that I could see somebody like Belichick being like going into it being like, "Okay, I already know what to expect." Obviously, these guys just they wanna get paid. Once you figure out that they're getting paid, then let's do it. I don't know, we'll have to see. Vrabel, it was interesting that he didn't really make it so high on anybody's list. I don't know, you never know. Sometimes those guys have to move to a defensive coordinator position for a little bit, and
Yep.
then you saw it with Todd Bowles. That's the only reason why he got another head coaching job. He was a terrible head coach for the Jets.
Yeah. Cliff
So,
Kingsbury have gone back to O coordinator in Washington with Dan Quinn. That should be interesting.
oh, good luck there.
Sam
I
Hartman.
Be
mean,
afraid. Be very afraid.
They're gonna draft a
the
quarterback at 2, or they're gonna move up to 1.
possibly, yeah, but unless, if you think that Jaden Daniels is gonna save the franchise, I don't think so, but
We got
I
it's
think
gonna be
he
Drake May
could.
or Jaden Daniels at 2 or 3, right?
Yeah, and Drake May had a good season, but he wasn't, like, lights out this year, right?
No, but I think he translates to the NFL.
Yeah, strong projection, I would agree.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd rather have Baker Mayfield as my quarterback than Drake May.
Well, you
Oh
have him.
my.
Like, don't your
Yeah,
wishes
the good
will
news is you
win.
have that.
5 years,
We
5 years, 160.
we haven't signed him yet.
No, but it's coming.
After that Pro Bowl performance, give it to him.
I'll give you a break the Pro Bowl. The
40,
Pro Bowl is
45 million,
such
45 million a
trash.
year. Here we come.
So in the Major League Baseball, there was some Hall of Fame announcements. You had Adrian Beltre, Todd Helton, and the famous Joe Mauer. Good ball players. I'm not gonna say that they weren't. When they were in their prime, they were definitely forces to be reckoned with. My question is, are they really deserving to be in the Hall of Fame, and are they deserving to be in the Hall of Fame over some of the guys that have been left out?
Absolutely. These are 3 stalwarts of the game that are very close to our generation. Look at Adrian Beltre, 21 years in Major League Baseball. Debuted in June of 1998 for Los Angeles Dodgers, was the youngest player in the MLB when he debuted. And when 22 decades later was still playing at a high level. He has the 3rd highest WAR, that's wins above replacement. So comparing players to players for wins, because that's what matters. The 3rd highest WAR ever at third base. 286 average, over 3,000 hits, almost 500 homers. And here's the great thing: when you talk about toughness and lasting power, staying power, he actually played the 15th. He has played the 15th most games in MLB history. That's impressive. So you talk about longevity, you talk about performance, you talk about the ability to just be consistently in the conversation. Adrian Beltre, no doubt, just consistent greatness for 21 years. Moving on to Joe Mauer, number one overall pick for the hometown Twins. This is a great story. 14 years in the league, AL MVP. I learned a new stat. So Jaws, not only one of my favorite movie series, Jaws 3 being my favorite. If you look, Louis Gossett Jr. and Dennis Quaid, fantastic Jaws 3. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. It's god awful, but wonderful in that way. That averages a player's career WAR with, and you just mentioned it, Hob, with their peak 7-year period. So this helps to average out a player with longevity with those that had just a spike of 6 or 7 years. So if you look at the Jaws numbers, he is the seventh highest rated catcher of all time. He's up there with Johnny Bench, Pudge Rodriguez, and Mike Piazza. He's right behind those guys, all three of those in the Hall. 388 on base percentage. This guy was on base 39% of the time. Almost 4 out of 10 he's on base. That was just third all time in catchers, and he also won the batting title 3 times. If you win the batting title 3 times, you're going to get in the Hall of Fame. It's a shoe-in. Joe Mauer. And we talk about Todd Helton. Dual sport athlete at Rocky Top, was a quarterback there when he came out. And guess
Peyton
what?
Manning, right?
Guess what? Larry Walker's got a buddy in the Hall of Fame. The second Rocky to be elected. Larry. Somebody sit at the table with Larry. So you think about Coors Field, you think of how inflated those numbers may be. Well, I will tell you about what he did away from Coors Field when we talk about Todd Helton. 287 batting average away from Coors Field. He has an 855 OPS. That's on base plus slugging. That's ridiculous away from Coors Field. That's better than Dave Winfield. That's better than Tony Gwynn. That's better than George Brett. All three of those guys were shoe-in Hall of Famers. 386 OBP, right behind Joe Mauer by 207 points. That's better than Honus Wagner and Harmon Killebrew. You'd say those guys are pretty good as well. 17 years in the league. And just for fun, let's talk about the numbers at Coors Field. He batted 345 at Coors Field. 345. Granted, it's an arcade game, but 345, 227 homers. This is incredible. He got robbed in 2000 when Jeff Kent won the NL MVP. It should have been Todd Helton, clearly. All three of these guys deserving. So if you played baseball video games growing up, you wanted to take the Twins, the Rockies, or the Dodgers just because you could beat these guys.
Thanks for saving some of those stats for us, Bajan.
Sorry, bro. I get excited about the Hall.
I can't add anything. What do you want me to add? Joe Mauer, his first year was at 107 at bats. Like I got nothing. Yeah, no, I
Did
think
did
he's one of
you
these guys.
did you like those guys? Did you like
I
those
did. I loved Joe Mauer. Like, yeah, that Beltray. No, because I was never a Dodgers fan.
He also
And
went to the Mariners, right? Or the Rangers?
yeah,
He's going in as a Ranger. Yep.
Mariners and the Rangers. I don't like any of those teams that he played for. I love the fact that Mauer, start to finish, played for the Twins. Same thing with our boy Todd Helton. I like seeing that in players that yes, everybody they want the rings, but they also show some loyalty, and that's who brought him in. So I love that. But no, I think all three are very deserving. No problems with them getting the nod. I think it's probably long overdue for Todd Helton. But love the fact that all three got in, and again, Bajan listed every stat that shows why. So yeah, no, I like as always, I am aligned with Bajan on this, and I'm
We are
very happy for all
aligned.
three guys. And
Okay,
yeah,
so if I told you that you could take you have a lineup, right? You're the manager
yeah,
for the day,
okay,
and you're setting your lineup, and I say you have to pick between Beltray and Bonds, who you gonna pick to hit that day?
I'm taking Bonds.
All day.
Oh,
I would
there's
take
not.
it if I
But
said
here's
you're
the
gonna
yeah,
pick between Helton and Bonds, who you gonna take?
I'm taking Bonds.
In
Bonds.
Yeah,
Coors Field, give me Helton.
I don't.
But yeah,
I'll take
Bonds.
Bonds anywhere. But no,
I'd
I get
take
what you're
Bonds.
asking. I get what you're asking.
Yeah,
I mean, but again, I if I was voting, Bonds would already be in the Hall of Fame because
Yeah.
I still think that he's very much deserving, no matter what shenanigans are going on the outside. That guy's he is a complete baseball player. What he did is will never be replicated because obviously you can't have steroids anymore. But no, he deserves to be in.
yeah, and then in the same breath, it would be like, would you rather if I told you that you can start Joe Mauer at first or you can pitch Roger Clemens, you're pitching Roger Clemens that day, right? Isn't it a no-brainer?
Yes, yes.
So
I don't know about Bajan. I feel like Bajan's a little more straight and narrow on that. He'd probably be like, "Those guys, never."
Yeah. They deserve it. You still have to hit the baseball and you still have to throw strikes. It doesn't matter what you're putting in your body. The hardest thing to do in sports is to hit a round ball with a round bat. It doesn't matter what's in your system. You still got to do it. And your swing plan's got to be correct. Roger Clemens, ultimate competitor as well. So those two guys, I get it. But we're talking about three great careers where they did it for longevity and were never brought up in any of this. So I get the
yeah.
discussion, but I'm happy for all three of these guys.
Yeah, I just it bothers me to me as far as I'm concerned, it diminishes the value of the Hall of Fame if you don't put all the best players in the Hall of Fame. My son is going to grow up and let's say we make a trip to the Hall of Fame. You're going to talk about the players that are in the Hall of Fame, but at the same time, I almost guarantee that everybody that goes to the Hall of Fame, they mention Clemens and Bonds.
Yeah.
Even though they're not even in the Hall of Fame. They're like, "There was a couple guys that should be in here, but we" yeah. Like,
There's some
it's like,
plaques in the parking lot. Yeah. We couldn't clean them back.
yeah, it's I think it's unfortunate, but at the same time, I also don't really know how I feel about cheating to achieve things, but everybody was cheating, right?
It's a pretty
So,
gray area at that time. So I agree. It's a tough situation.
I don't know, but we give them a round of applause for those 3 to get in there. I'm sure that they're just elated to be in the hall. So the NBA trade deadline's coming up on February 8th, the same day as the big TNT Thursday night doubleheader. I want you guys to give me your quick picks on the Thursday night doubleheader. It's the Mavs are traveling to the Garden where the Lakers had snapped our 9-game winning streak, but that's okay. And then the Nuggets are traveling to the Lakers. So the lines aren't out yet. You guys are just gonna tell me who you think's gonna win those matchups. I'll start with you, Bijan.
I'm going to come with you on this one at MSG. It's a great additive in food. And it's the mecca of basketball. Give me the Knicks, and it's the rebounding advantage. So they're second best defensive rebounding team in the league, in the association. You also allow the fourth least offensive rebounds. So they keep the glass clean. They also get on the other side, they get the third most offensive rebounds. So I think there's a bunch of shots in this when you're looking at Luca and you're looking at Kyrie. I think they'll defend them good enough. They're going to get theirs. Give me the Knicks, though. I know Dallas is hot. They just blew out Brooklyn tonight. They're going to have a day of rest, but you know what? Something tells me take the Knicks at home, especially if OG is back. And then the other game, I could tell you what's the stats. Just give me Jokic. I don't care who they're playing. Just give me Jokic. That big bag of milk. Put him up against everybody. It's a triple double. Nestle quick, just pour it in. Triple double every night. It's delicious. You can count on it. Jokic.
You don't think AD can slow him down?
No, AD doesn't want to play 48 minutes. He doesn't want to play a whole season. Jokic gets out there and competes. Look at the scars on his back, Jokic, every night. Guys, oh, what a stallion.
Burn?
Yeah, no, AD will slow him down for a little bit, but no. Yeah, I'm aligned with that. I think Nuggets handle business. They take the W there, but I'm not aligned with the Knicks. I'm gonna have to pass on that. Take the best player. Doncic is that guy. He's gonna come into MSG and absolutely pour it on. I'm thinking 58, and the Mavs continue the trend of the Knicks losing at home.
Yeah, I the Knicks are hot right now, though. I obviously you have that one L we took, but in general, the Knicks are hot, especially ever since the OG Kush trade that has really opened up the horizons on the
Mhm.
offensive side. You don't have RJ Barrett there anymore. Oh goodness gracious, I'm so happy as a Knicks fan that we got rid of that. But now here's the thing. Randall was starting to actually play very well with the new squad, right? But the problem is we don't have Randall right now. I do think that would have been a matchup situation that we could have taken advantage of. But you say that Doncic is the best player. I say Brunson's the best player that night, baby.
Oh,
So
man.
that we'll see Thursday night, and I'll probably be sending you a nice little text of a screenshot of the box
Yeah.
score on
Oh,
this
I
one.
figured it'd be an apology, but yeah.
Uh, it's a very intriguing matchup. Obviously, the stars shine very bright in Madison Square Garden. I don't know what it is, but it's just the way that it works. Like the visiting teams, they like to show up against the Knicks, but this season it hasn't worked out so well. Now, I think that it's going to be a clean sweep with the Nuggets. The bigger question is, what's the line going to be there? Because they are on the road. Is it going to be like a -6 type
Yeah, I
of
have it between
thing?
4.5 and 6 would be my prediction. I think 4.5
Yeah,
if everybody plays. Could be I don't think 4.5 and 5.5. I don't think they let it get to 6, but that's a good call out.
yeah. And the thing is, the Lakers have surprisingly, they're not really that great this season. They're hovering around the average line there, but they've come to play when they needed to play. So obviously, I mentioned that they had beat the Knicks on a 9-game winning streak, and then obviously they won that stupid little in-season tournament thing. So they're not like terrible, right? I think the Nuggets should win this game. They're the defending champions, but the Lakers are gonna get up for this game is my point, is this is they're going up against the defending champs coming into your house. How will the Lakers play? I think we should, tune in to find out on Thursday night, but I'm taking Denver all day long on this one. The one omission is if OG Kush does play, they're probably gonna have Anunoby guard Doncic as much as possible. That could slow him down a little
Got
bit
great
Yeah.
there.
length. Great
Slow him
length.
down
So
to he'll probably get 49 then. Sorry.
That another thing to look out for there on that Thursday night. Okay, so I mentioned that the deadline's coming up. I'm really interested to see if we're gonna see any movement here. There will be some movement. Will it be any juicy movement? I don't know. Obviously, there's gonna be some buyouts that are going to be occurring as well. So I was looking at the buyout situation. I was like, okay, what players could possibly be targeted for that? And the one that came up was Gordon Hayward, actually.
Oh,
What happened? Okay, I'll
Gordon, are you
present it this
there?
way. Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
are you?
Okay. He's he's in his final year of his contract, $31 million this season, just taking advantage of a market, that guy.
Oh,
Um,
enjoy.
he's averaging 15 a game this season. He's actually slated to come back from injury very soon this week, if not tonight. But his career average is 15 a game, and that's what he's averaging now. So my question is this, do you let's say he does go the buyout option, is that even something sexy here for any of these contending teams? Start with you, Burn.
I don't know about sexy, but I think he's definitely a viable option. He can definitely stretch the floor. He can shoot. 15 points is that's legit. If that's good in any team could use that. So, yeah, I would assume that if there's a buyout option and you're picking that guy up for league minimum, 2, 4 million tops, probably. Hell yeah, it's worth it. But I don't know about sexy, but I think it's in somebody that's contending right now, playoff bound. That would be a really solid pickup for them to help them maybe get over the hump. What
Can
team
you
that
relate it
is?
to one of your crushes, like your celebrity crushes? Like what level?
This so this is
Who are you
a
crushing on right now?
I'm a
Single man.
I'm a big Jennifer Aniston. I'm a big Kristen Bell. Mila good old
Mila Kunis.
yeah. But I would consider this like a Jennifer Lawrence type.
Oh,
Okay.
Like middle of the road, solid.
Middle of the road.
I don't have a problem bringing her home, meeting the parents, but it's not something that's, "Hey, like, this is the one."
The one. I
That's all
find
I
it very
got.
hard to believe, by the
Jennifer
way,
Lawrence,
that,
please don't get mad, Jennifer. I think
yeah,
you're
like,
yeah.
absolutely
Please return
beautiful
my
and
calls. That's all
yeah,
right. You
just
guys are
in
still
case
texting
she's
back and
listening,
forth.
slide into that DM.
yeah, if Jennifer Lawrence was listening and she found out that you called her average, you'd be in trouble right
Mm.
there.
Man, if she is a connoisseur, I'm in trouble. I lose my job.
But John, Gordon Hayward's in your local town there. Do you guys like
Yeah.
Gordon Hayward?
I mean, it's not unlikable, but he's like me. There's nothing sexy about him. It's Gordon Hayward. It's
Yeah.
not sexy. The Charlotte doesn't need him. They're not going anywhere. I might as well let him flee the hive for now and Somebody else can pick him. He can contribute. There's nothing wrong with the guy. He plays
What
hard.
what team would you like to see him jump on for a little run there?
How about the Magic? How about the Magi? Can score. He's a scorer.
He
Can
is a
shoot it
veteran.
well when he's healthy. Why not?
But
Yeah, it's a
where do we play
possibility.
him? I
The
mean, I
same
guess
place we play all the rest of our misfit toys. It doesn't matter where we play, where the Magic play people.
it's gonna be a what? You're
Yeah.
right.
Fair place we play everybody, that's so funny.
Yeah.
You could just release Gary Harris and sign Gordon Hayward, and it would be very similar, probably.
Almost like a want.
It'll be better with Hayward. Why not Hayward?
There was also another trade, Oladipo and Steven Adams, they did a swap with those for those 2 guys there. It's a little ho-hum because they're both injured. I don't understand that. I don't understand why you would what GMs are texting each other saying, "Hey, I'll give you Oladipo," and then he'll be like, "Oh, I'll give you Adams," and then it's, "Okay, let's make the trade." It's,
Yeah. Who's
"Whoa,
injured?
good job, guys."
What's the
Uh,
contract? That's the only thing I could think of. This one's an expiring contract and needs some
Depot's,
yeah.
elite
expiring, yeah.
expiring.
And Steven Adams only has 1 more year. So this is really the draft picks was the win for Memphis here. Wanted Jackenny to load that draft capital. Yeah, neither of these guys have played. The coolest thing I can say about this is Steven Adams. His sister, Valerie, is an Olympic shot putter for New Zealand. Very cool. I think she wrote a
Mm.
book. Very interesting. So Summer Olympics are coming up in Perry. Look for Valerie Adams. I know she's still an athlete, but I thought that was cool. Olympic shot putter.
Do you
She's
guys
in
think
our
the Lakers
she's gonna be on
do you
our
guys
show
think
next
the
week.
Lakers are gonna get anybody?
Yes.
Yeah, they'll get
Um,
someone.
you think they'll get DeJounte?
Where there's smoke, there's fire, right? But
Yeah.
I just don't. What do they have to really offer? I don't think they have a
Russell.
lot of first rounds. They have but is that something? Is that worthwhile on the Atlanta front? Is that something that they would want to take on? I don't know.
I'm not
I
sure of the draft capital, but to your point, they'd have to include draft capital with that to
yeah, and I think they only
take
have
D'Angelo Russell.
a first round, and I don't know. I feel like it's 2027 or 29, somewhere in that range. So I don't know. But I guess maybe that's a good first round pick down the road because LeBron will be
Yep.
obviously, hopefully, I would imagine not playing, and AD's probably having another surgery. So Lakers could be hurting there. So yeah, I think there's a chance for I don't. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there that I say that DeJounte does not end up as a Lakers come Thursday.
Yeah, they're gonna be desperate to make a move. The
They have
problem with
to.
the Lakers is they're so financially strapped with AD and, LBJ that
Mhm.
it's like you're in it with these 2 guys, and you are not gonna win a title with that.
You got Park Place and Boardwalk, but none of the rest of the board. What else are you gonna do in the Monopoly game? It's bad.
I don't know. They mismanaged that, I think, when
Oh,
they
I'd
went all
say.
in on
Yeah.
AD.
Yeah, they can't
Um,
even add a house on that on Park Place. They can't even add
No.
it. That's
Mm-mm.
mm.
okay, so let's go to the other, veteran team here because Golden State, they're under 500. So my question, I'm gonna ask you this, Bijan, okay? Does do you think it makes sense for Golden State to go all in on a player like Markkanen from Utah?
I don't think Utah's gonna let Markkanen go. Why would they? What a
They
he is the
they
face of
said they would, but it's a
But
hefty price.
it's
yeah,
gonna
that's
be
what
an arm and a
everybody
leg.
says up front. They're not gonna let Markkanen go. He is perfect for Utah. He's the type of player that anybody could cheer for. But the fans love him. He's tremendous. He is the
I
face of
know.
the Jazz for the next 10 or 12 years. They're not gonna let him go. They're just saying that's posturing. I like what look, Golden State, enjoy the rebuild. Here's what I love what Steve Kerr is doing is he's letting a lot of those young guys play. I watched a game last night against the god awful Brooklyn Nets. If you had the under like I did, you were happy because man was it a brick fest. But what I love is that Steve Kerr playing the young guys for extended minutes, and these guys are starting to learn to play. They play defense on the Warriors, and when they can score, they can get some. They can get some distance. Now, are they young? No. Are they overly athletic? They're not. But I like that they're giving their second round guys or other guys. They were playing probably 10 and 11 guys deep into their bench yesterday in a game that was close. They can do that and stay relevant, maybe sneak into the at least the playoff for the playoffs. I think that's a win for them with what they have right now. And I think that's what they should focus on. I know it's not popular. I know it's not what they're used to, but this is a long rebuild.
Hmm.
But they got to make a trade though. They have too many veteran depth pieces that cost a lot of money. Clay Thompson, he's getting benched. A couple years ago, this guy's we're talking about he'd be a number one on any team in the league. So they've got to do something, right? They have to. Yes, they have some really good young pieces that are getting some playing time. Which again, I agree with you, Bajan. I'm thankful that Kerr sees that and recognizes that as getting these guys some valuable minutes. So we'll see. But I think Golden State definitely makes a move, and they're going to have to break up that core. I think it's time. Curry is still Curry. Obviously, we know what Draymond Green has brought to that team, but Klay Thompson is a shell of what he used to be. At least this year, can he turn the corner and get back to where he was? Potentially, but they're gonna have to do something. So I think a trade is coming. Trade
Yeah,
is
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree with you, Burn. Clay's the piece to move. They just need him to play well they don't have time for
yeah.
that. But I wish he
No.
had played well the last 10 games to move him because you're going to get pennies on the dollar right now. But I think that's the one you got to move. I agree.
Yeah.
So if you move, so riddle me this: if you move Clay Thompson, then you're moving Draymond.
I don't think you need to. I don't think you necessarily have to. You got to
Like
move one.
if you're gonna break up the squad, because it's Clay, Draymond, and Steph, right? That's their squad. If you take one away, then you might as well just get rid of the cancerous Draymond too, right? And then see what you could get back. And because you're doing it for a reason. You're saying, "All right, you guys had a great run. We can't win a championship with you guys together anymore." Right? So I think that if we see I don't know if this is actually gonna happen. See, this is my thing. If I was the GM for the Warriors, why it's very obvious that you're not gonna win another title with this squad. It can't work.
Yeah.
They've run to the to the finish line here with whatever they're gonna do together. Obviously, Steph Curry is still good enough to be a number 1 on your team, but he needs some weapons if he's gonna end up trying to fulfill his legacy for the next couple seasons here. That's all he has left. I think that it has to happen. I think they have to break them up. I haven't heard enough rumors that it's gonna happen, though. Is this like a behind the scenes thing?
Oh. Might be. I
Or
don't think they want it to be public. I think if it happens, it'll be sudden just because of the profiles. You got to find some takers for both Clay and for Draymond. And I don't know what team wants that.
I don't know. It's not like Clay's
What are you
doesn't
picking for
have
calling and call? I've been hoping you were calling, ask about Clay. I can't wait to.
yeah.
Who's that team?
I would say what about, like, the Pacers? Could they use
No,
somebody like Clay?
they already made their trade, and they've got to get those pieces acclimated and get Halliburton back. I don't see them doing much more. When they do that, they could be
Sacramento?
scary. Hmm? Where does he play? You got Harrison Barnes, which is the same player, but playing better right now.
They could
I don't
trade
know if you
Harrison
play him
Barnes
there.
back to Golden State.
You give Jordan Lyles back to Golden State and say Clay, they play up. That would be a slight upgrade. You're not going to do anything with Sabonis and Fox. I love Monk off the
I mean, would
bench.
the Lakers would love to have Klay Thompson,
Yeah, it's a Lakers. That's a total Lakers player. Why not? LeBron, make it happen. Make it go.
and then they get D'Angelo Russell in Golden State, you know? We'll see. Obviously, you had mentioned Kennard earlier and on the other
Yes.
previous episode. Novich are the names that are floating around there that we might see moved. I like both of those players, and we'll have to see where they actually land or if they just stay put at the deadline. There's gonna be some movement, we just don't know where. Um, we'll finish the pod here. I wanted to play a little bit of a game. I want you
Oh.
guys to I'm gonna give you 2 players. I want you to tell me who you think has a higher three-point percentage, okay? So,
Why you do
I
this to me?
I am going to start with Burn because he's very excited. He raised his hand. Grayson Allen or Malik Beasley?
For the highest 3-point percentage?
Who has a higher three-point percentage between those 2?
Malik
I'll
Beasley.
give you a hint. I'll give you a hint. They're both top 10 in the NBA right now. So
Nice.
that kinda gives you a little bit of a reference.
Malik Beasley.
Malik Beasley is 5th. He's shooting 45%, which is fantastic. He's
Grayson
the
Allen is number
highest,
1.
and Grayson Allen's number 1. He's shooting almost 50% from
I
downtown.
almost that was the obvious answer. I thought it was a trick question. God,
I don't know. I might try to trick you so you don't know.
well,
Um,
fell into that trap.
It's a
I'm going
trap.
to I'm going to give Bajan,
Mm.
let's see here.
Just give him the
Um,
mark for yes. He already got it right.
I'm going to give you Drew Holiday or Dante DiVincenzo.
3-point?
Yeah.
Mm, give me Dante.
Dante's shooting 41% and Holiday shooting 42%, actually.
Oh, so close.
Um,
I lost
I
that
was
one.
gonna go. I would
yeah,
have gone
Drew
Holiday.
Holiday's number 17. Yeah.
Good one.
Just so you guys know, Neesmith for the Pacers is number 2 in the NBA, not 3-point percentage, which I thought
Wow.
was
What's
pretty
what's he at? Like
interesting.
48, 47?
46. And your boy Kennard is top 10 as well. He's 44%. So they're onto something with
I
that.
want the Magic. I want the Magic to go get him. I think that'd be a
Please,
yeah,
Magi.
that'd be a big pickup.
Okay,
Like
this one's for you. I'll start with you, Bijan. Franz Wagner or let's see here. RJ Barrett.
From 3-point?
Yeah.
I'm never gonna go with RJ Barrett in anything, even if I'm wrong. There it
That's so
is.
funny. RJ Barrett's 146th in the NBA. He's shooting 34%. Franz Wagner is 160th in the NBA, shooting 31%
Give
from
me Franz
downtown.
as a player all day, though. You look what he did on Sunday in a huge win over the Pistons, 38
yeah,
points, the
38.
second highest total in Magic history without making a free throw. Second to Scott.
But I think it's part of the problem that he can't shoot from 3 though. Like,
But he was when it opens up, I think he hit at least 3 or 4 on Sunday. I think he might have been 3 for 7 or 4 for 9, something like that. Man, was it fun to watch because then it opens, he drives to the basket, he distributes. Franz Wagner, very special.
Bijan doesn't care that he's, ice buckets from 3.
It's not his
Uh,
game, is it? That's not
That's
what he should be
that's
doing.
that's the whole Magic team.
Yeah.
and, alright, so Burn, I'm gonna give you De'Aaron Fox and Luka Doncic.
I'm gonna have to lean because I feel like Luca shoots a ton, and
Mm.
so I think he might make more, but he shoots more. So I'm gonna go with the Fox. Give me the Fox.
Like the silver fox, right?
Silver
Yeah,
Fox,
it matches, it
right
matches.
down to the De'Aaron Fox.
He does have a slightly better percentage. They're both very similar, though. It's just by
Doesn't matter.
10.
I got it right.
Yeah. Yeah. De'Aaron Fox is 37.8 and then Doncic 37.5. Not lights out by any means for Doncic,
But
but
if they were on the Magic, they'd be the leading 3-point shooter.
By far.
So that's
uh
not good.
last one here, we'll go Tatum or let's see here. Tatum or Klay Thompson, Bijan.
Tatum.
It has to be
That was
right
quick.
because Clay doesn't.
That's wrong, actually.
All right,
Okay.
3. Fantastic.
Yeah, Tatum is bringing up the rears here. He's not even in the top 100 in the NBA from 3-point percentage, which is surprising, don't you think?
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
surprising.
What's he shooting?
He's shooting like 36.8%, and then Clay's shooting 37.1. They are
Oh, come
close.
on. Oh,
They
you're
are
acting like I
close.
missed it, but you gave me a 41 and a 42 and a 36.8 and a 37. This is
Look,
crazy.
I dealt with my same. Okay, don't
Yeah.
just
They're
get it right,
they're
John.
yeah, they're close, but no cigar, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's more of the fact that I wanted to highlight in our minds, we think Tatum, you just think this guy's lights
Yeah.
out, right? But then when you look at the stats, it's, oh, he's really not that great from downtown.
That's still I'm
Bobby
just saying.
Portis has a better three-point percentage than Jason
Bobby
Tatum.
Portis. Fill it up.
So yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode of Sports Caviar. Where are you watching the game?
TBD, we've got a neighbor that I'm hoping has done it the last 2 years. If you're listening, Bo, please host the Super Bowl party. So if not, we'll figure it out. I enjoyed the time last year. We did it with the family. We'll see. Hopefully, we'll get some friends together. It'll be somewhere in the neighborhood. Folks, be safe, have fun, play responsibly,
Gamble's wrong.
imbibe responsibly. Enjoy the game.
But Burn, where are you watching it? Family?
No, as of right now, I would say it's a pretty strong TBD. I do have a couple invites.
I bet.
The one's with a buddy of ours at the so nearby you actually. So just on the other side of I-4.
Oh, okay.
I'll keep you posted, but if you have an invite that you'd like to invite me to, I'm also
Yeah.
Bob, are you hosting?
I'm not hosting. I'm going to my buddy Kyle's house, but you can definitely come with me to that one. He's gonna be
Nice.
smoking
Yeah.
a pig. He's got ribs and all
Yeah.
kinds of just delicious meats on the grill.
Love the
Um,
meats.
so I'm planning on just eating a lot of meat and then just being insanely full and hopefully hitting on some of these prop bets that I'll be making.
Debo.
I'll be honest, man. We gotta do better. We gotta do better because we started off so well at the beginning of the season, and now my prize picks are like,
Oh, the
I
price
gotta,
that one's
I gotta
weird.
stop doing it. I need to get whatever we'll have some offline conversations, but
Yeah. We'll see what I'm interested to see what Josh has to say about his
Yes.
NFL picks for this Sunday.
We should have had him on. Segment.
he does need to be a celebrity pick here soon
Yeah.
He won't do it. I've already asked him to join. He said that he won't do it. So
because we won't allow tank tops.
maybe,
Sure.
I don't know. I'll tell him. They'll be like, you can wear a tank top. We don't care.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, guys, enjoy the Super Bowl. Go Niners.
All right, brothers. We'll see you guys.